All right, welcome back. So I want to talk about file input and output streams really quick. So I already have a file IO file created. I have a make file. And so let's go ahead and I'll go ahead and get started on this. So to begin with, I go ahead and write my comments because you should always put comment information at the beginning of your file. All right, and then let's just go the basic one, include IO stream using namespace std return 0. All right, so this is just the basic file. We should all be very familiar with this. But now I want to talk about file streams. So C++ would be not that useful if you could not read and write to various files. And so they do that through this fstream library. So include fstream. And so what does that give us? So that gives us a couple of things. We have ifstream, and we can do that, and ofstream. All right, so these should get colored. Yep, there they go. So this is basically another variable type. So we have a ifstream, or input file stream. We have an ofstream, or an output file stream. And then I just gave it fin and fout. That's just been a habit for me ever since then, or ever since I started programming. You could do almost anything you want. You generally want to standardize on something to indicate that it is a file input or file output. But an IF stream is a basic IF stream, and it is in the standard namespace, and it's an IF stream, whereas OF stream is the same type, it's just the output stream. So what can we do with this? Well, let's do fn dot and see what we have here. So open is the first one that was there just because I had it there last. But there's a lot of various options you can do for this. But conceptually what you're doing is you are opening a file and you are opening a stream to that file. So fn.open, and then you give it, I was going to complain about this because it's, yeah, that's fine. Then you give it the name of a file, and this needs to be a string. And so if I put quotes there, and I have a file in the same location, that input file, file.txt, oops, and semicolon. And the error should go away. Yep, there we go. So now I am reading in that file, or I'm opening that file stream. I'm not actually reading in the file yet. So I don't want you thinking that doing this will read the entire file in. Instead, what I'm doing is I'm telling C++, hey, there's a file that exists, a file named input file. Go ahead and connect to it and wait for me to tell you what to do with it. It's not going to read in the data. It's not going to touch it or anything. It's just going to point its eyes. Well, C++ has many, many eyes into things. It's going to point its eyes at that file and just wait. And so in this file, what do we have? There's 6 different lines, just plain text. This is the first sentence. Second sentence, some numbers are below, 10, 20, and 30. So what can we do with this? Well, let's go ahead and read in something. Let's read in some data. So these are going to be strings. So let's go ahead and create a string. So I should include the string just in case, because you may not be doing IO stream and you might just want the string library for some reason. So string, let's just do file variable. That's a bad name. File input part. Let's just do it for that for now. We can change it later. All right, so how do we read this? So we have a string variable, we have a file stream, and I keep saying stream because, well, that's what it is. What other streams have we seen? Hint, that has stream in the name. So what do we normally do with that? Well, we normally, when we want to read in from the console, we do a cin input part. And so what that does is that basically has the person at the console input something and press enter, and it reads it in there. How does it actually do its separation? Well, it does it on white space. So if you put a space in there, and let's say, I'm just going to put this here. Let's say this is the input that the person is doing, Jeremy space Bergen. Remember when you read in, you would do something like cin f first name last name. So that's how you would read it, because it treats it as white space here. And so this would go into first name and this would go into last name. So if that works for IO stream or input output stream, how can we do that for F stream? Well, cin is not a file stream, but what is a file stream? Fn. Fn is now a stream. So instead of doing cin, we do Fn. And notice that the first indication that maybe we're on the right track is we don't have any red lines and it doesn't seem to be complaining. Just for sanity's sake, let me go ahead and save it. Yep, I saved it. And let's go ahead and make. See, does this work? We get that, make run, and we don't get any errors. Great. So that means that at least we're kind of on the right track. All right, so now what can we do with this? So what is this? Well, it's a string. So what can we do with the string? Well, let's just go ahead and print it out. File, input, part, end line. All right, so all I'm doing is hopefully I'm reading in from the file stream. I'm reading something in there and storing it in file input part. And then I'm just going to print that out just to see what I have. So let's go ahead and make again. Oh, I got this. What is this? Oh, this looks like it's the first word of, well, both of these lines. Let's go ahead and do, let me go ahead and change this slightly. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 words there, 1, 2, 3, 4 words there, 1, 2, 3, 4 words there. So we have 4 words on each line. So let's go ahead and string word 1, word 2. I said word 1 and I typed word 2. You do not see that. Word 3, word 4. So let's just go ahead and read in 4 words. Go ahead and comment this out. And let's try the same thing. Fn, word 1, word 2, word 3, word 4. All right, so what is this doing? This is connecting to the file stream and it's reading in 4 words. And how are those words, how does it know what a word is? Well, how does cin know what a word is? White space. So white space is a delimiter, and we tell it which variables to store it into here. So this will read in each individual word. And then there's a period at the end. So we'll have to see if that will actually work. And so now we need to actually fix our cout. And I'm going to do this a slightly different way. Word 1, word 1. And I'm just going to copy, just so we can very clearly see that it's each individual word. So I am reading in 4 words from the file stream, and then I'm printing out word 1 colon whatever word 1 is, word 2 colon whatever word 2 is. Let's go ahead and test this and see what happens. Make run. Oh, this is first sentence. This is first sentence. I think the reason why there isn't a the there is because the 4 words and then there's 4 words there, but same number of words. So cool. Well, what if we want the next line? So we could do this. Let's go ahead and copy this and paste this here. And we'll just duplicate it and see what happens. I'm getting a call on my phone for some reason. Let's go ahead and duplicate that and go ahead and do this again. This is first sentence. This is second sentence. Ah, great. Let's see, I'll just do word 1-1, word 2-1, just so we can clearly see that it's going to be separate words, or well, separate lines, and I'm not just printing out the same part of it again. Make run. Word 1-1, this is first sentence, and that is all -1, and then 2, this is second sentence. Cool, so we can do this again. Let's do it for the third line. And 3, 3, 3, 3. All right, and you should be able to guess what's going to happen. Make run. Some numbers are below, and so that corresponds with this line. All right, now we get into a problem. So we have 3 lines left. What happens if we just copy and paste this and duplicate this again? So word 4, 4, 4, and 4. So what's going to happen? So really, the input, it's reading it separated by white space or some delimiter. New line is also a delimiter for that. But now we're saying we want to read in 4 things when there's only 3 left. So is it going to crash, or is it going to continue reading on? Well, C++ is a safer language. And so what it does is it just doesn't overwrite that last one. It just kind of fails silently in the background. Because notice that we're getting 10, 20, 30, but then we get below again. We didn't actually read anything in. And in fact, if we duplicate this here, and I'm just going to read in a single word. It doesn't really matter. Fn word 4. And I'm going to put cout, put a bunch of dashes here just so that it delineates it. And make run. Notice that it doesn't change this variable. It's failing to read data, but it's not like you're trying to access beyond the end of an array. It's just failing to read the data, and so it doesn't overwrite the variable. And so it is just the end of that. So this is how you can actually read in words one at a time from a file. And again, these are going to be white space delimited or white space separated. And so you can do it that way. So the next video, I will actually show you a better way to read in each individual line. But for now, I just wanted to show you the painful way of reading in data from a file. Thanks for watching.